The Yellowstone Supervolcano system is very active. Now, why is this volcano rocked by thousands of earthquakes every year? We know Yellowstone is situated in Wyoming towards the northwestern section of the state, overlapping into Idaho and Montana. It's one of the 20 some odd supervolcanoes of our Earth, and it has thousands of earthquakes every year, prompting many to fear the supervolcano is edging closer to an eruption. As Dr. Michio Kaku says, it's Godzilla sleeping, and when it awakes, it's going to be terrible. Now, the Yellowstone scientist in charge of monitoring the volcanic beast is now explaining why Yellowstone is so seismically active. The geologist in charge is Mike Poland, that comes out with updates every month. And there's also weekly updates. Now, anywhere between 1,500 and 2,500 earthquakes are detected in the Yellowstone region every year. This makes it one of the most seismically active parts of the United States. And it's in the western United States. Yellowstone caldera covers about 30 by 45 miles within the 3,500 square mile Yellowstone National Park. And the volcano witnesses three monstrous eruptions in the past, roughly 640,000 years ago, 1.3 million years ago, and 2.1 million years ago. Many kindly support my Patreon account since YouTube has again demonetized my YouTube channel. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below. Many believe it will blow sometime in the future. It's not believed that it would be sometime soon, though. Now, to put eruptions into perspective, the U.S. Geological Survey, USGS, estimates volcanic debris belching from Yellowstone blanketed much of the western U.S., third of a meter deep, several hundred kilometers from Yellowstone, and we even have mountains of volcanic ash closer to the crater, as we know. Now, a more recent period of volcanic activity with a lava eruption went off 70,000 years ago, when enough lava oozed from the feature known as the Pitchstone Plateau. We had another 80 eruptions since then. Yellowstone sits atop of a volcanic system that, although it's mostly solid, still fuels the park's hot springs and geysers. We know Yellowstone has 60% of the Earth's geysers, and it has over 10,000 hydrothermal systems. The subsurface of Yellowstone is marked by numerous fault lines that contribute to the region's frequent earthquakes. As USGS scientist in charge of overseeing Yellowstone Volcano Observatory, YVO, he explained how these features combined to trigger thousands of earthquakes across the park every year. Michael Poland, the scientist in charge of Yellowstone, spoke to AccuWeather about the world-famous supervolcano, and he touched upon recent reports. 43 earthquakes were detected in the region last month, a report which sparked fears that something could be brewing underground. One Twitter user said apparently there were 45 plus earthquake tremors last month at Yellowstone, saying that Mother Nature gives warning signs before an eruption. He said, "Sorry boys, but Pompeii should be a prime example of no volcanic warning signs." According to Dr. Poland, 43 earthquakes are well below par for Yellowstone and are not an indicator of a brewing cataclysm. He said Yellowstone system is really active as a tectonic system, so we see anywhere in the neighborhood of about 1,500 to 2,500 earthquakes a year on average. So typically there's 100 to 200 earthquakes every month at Yellowstone, and these are mostly caused by very small faults that are mostly caused by very small faults. So the resulting earthquakes are minor, he says, typically in the magnitude of 1 to 2 magnitude. Between 4 and 5 tremors each year are stronger than the magnitude of 3. Poland said, but a very small the very small events caused by all of the water that's moving around the subsurface, and the area is chock full of faults because it's in a very tectonically active part of the western US, and it also is weak because of the heat that's being input into the system by the Yellowstone volcanic system. So that combination of the weak crust due to the heat and all the faults and all the water moving around the subsurface just creates the perfect conditions for lots and lots of smaller earthquakes. Despite what you might have heard on social media, Yellowstone is not going to erupt anytime soon. He's talking about a super eruption, of course. So there's no evidence that suggests the volcano is overdue for another eruption. According to USGS, the volcano could pop one day, but the odds of this happening within our lifetime is extremely slim, and the volcano would give off many warning signs before blowing its lid. The USGS said YVO has not detected signs of activity that suggest an eruption is imminent. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. This is by Sebastian Kentley, Express UK.